Hello friends, and welcome back to something I've not done in a while, a player review. This time we are doing Dejan Kulusevski. Deki, Kulu, Dijon Mustard, our little ginger from Sweden, whatever you want to call him. I want to focus on the man who I think changed our season. Now then, Dejan Kulusevski registered 13 goal involvements in 18 Premier League appearances after his loan move from Juventus. He is a 22-year-old from Sweden with plenty of experience in Serie A, including a stint in Parma, Atalanta, and obviously Juventus. He is a 6'1" left-footed player who mainly operates off of the right wing but has played other positions. And that left-footedness will be important as I go on throughout the video. So to emphasize the impact of how important Dejan Kulusevski was to our last little renaissance in the last part of the season, I want to start with the formation and Antonio Conte, because obviously Dejan Kulusevski wouldn't have had his success without Antonio Conte, and Conte would not have had his without Dejan. Antonio Conte used a 3-5-2 a little bit at the start of his reign during the first few months at Tottenham Hotspur. And now this had a few problems. For a 3-5-2 to work, you really need one of your midfielders to be a creative outlet and to be kind of a free roamer. We've seen this mainly at Inter Milan, where Christian Eriksen kind of had that role. And you need a really solid base for your two midfielders as well. And the problem with this is that obviously our creative midfielders, Tanguy Ndombele, Giovanni Lo Celso, Dele Alli, all went in January. And whether you think that's a good decision or not, we just didn't have them. So the 3-5-2 out the window. Next up, we had the 3-4-3. We know he's going to stick with the back three. This is another variation of it, which gave a little bit more flexibility to how we played. So, obviously, you still have your wingbacks going, you still have Kane Son up top, but then there's that right winger position. And pretty much for the first few matches where we were trying the 3-4-3, it was Lucas Moura. And Lucas Moura is a good player, but there are limitations to Lucas Moura. When you think of a right-footed player on the left wing, it is a more creative thing most of the time. You want them to cross, you want them to cut in and pass on their right foot. They have a pretty good angle to do so. Stuff like that. But the goal scoring and the threat that they carry is limited, which is why a lot of right footers operate off of the left wing and why a lot of left footers operate off of the right wing. You see this just in the most famous and the best right wingers in the world: Mo Salah, Lionel Messi, Riyad Mahrez, Angel Di Maria, all of these players left-footed. So when you're looking for a right winger to really, really bolster your team and to make you a top-level team, chances are you want a left footer. Also, in comparison to Lucas Moura, Dejan Kulusevski just kind of offers a more well-rounded approach to his game. As I said, 6'1", he's huge for a winger, but the physical presence he has leads him to be able to carry the ball pretty well, keep possession. He's a great passer of the ball. If you look at pass completion numbers, not only across short distances, which is what Lucas is also pretty good at, but along medium and long distances, Dejan Kulusevski can pass the ball really, really well and can provide that creative outlet. I also think it's worth mentioning Steven Bergwijn here. Steven Bergwijn, kind of the more goal scorer type of winger. And I think when I look at Dejan Kulusevski, I think he's kind of a combination of Lucas Moura and Steven Bergwijn in this way. He's able to cut inside and score, but he's also able to keep the ball, possess it, pass it, or he can dribble a man much like Lucas would. I think he has every single facet of that game that you need to be a top level winger. And also out of possession as well, this is where Steven Bergwijn kind of drops to the wayside. If you look at tackle and interception numbers, Dejan Kulusevski, actually even among Lucas Moura and stuff, who's usually an impact sub, has way more tackles and interceptions per 90. Which, you know, for a winger is weird, but that's what Antonio Conte wants. And you can probably look at that and say, that might be why Steven Bergwijn might not be chosen and why Dejan Kulusevski was. The main thing I was also looking at when I was looking at FBref to kind of compare these players are goal-creating actions. This is anything from shots to passes to dribbles or anything like that that creates a goal-scoring opportunity. And when you look at that compared to Lucas Moura and Steven Bergwijn, he is leagues above them. Which just further proves that he is not only a creative outlet, but a threat himself, which kind of takes the edge off of Kane and Son, which is kind of where my conclusion is coming to. With the acquisition of Dejan Kulusevski came the rise of Kane and Son again, which was key to all of our success. So I like to refer to this thing as the pre-Deki era and the post-Deki era, or Kulu, or whatever. Harry Kane, pre-Deki era, 5 goals, 2 assists in 19 games. Obviously, Harry Kane had other problems and his own problems that he had to deal with, but after Deki came into the team, 12 goals, 7 assists in 18 games. Insane return. Even Son. I thought Son had a pretty good start to his life this season. But even Son, pre-Deki, 8 goals, 4 assists in 17 games. And post-Deki, 15 goals and 5 assists in 18 games. Remarkable return. Like, I think just pointing to, like, before Dejan Kulusevski was a part of the team and after, seeing the impact that that had on the other attacking players is phenomenal. He is someone that is not going to be predictable. Mark, he has that creative aspect about his game, but also he has that left peg that can just cut in and cause chaos. His crossing is insane. His shooting is as apparent in the last game is very, very good. And just his overall play, I think, is a deceptive nature. He doesn't look like inherently fast, but whenever he dribbles his man, he manages to beat him by, like, pure will. I think I think it's quite funny because I think other players also look at him and think he doesn't seem that fast, but sure enough, I think almost 9 times out of 10 he'll just dribble right past him and take a heavy touch and blow by him. Dejan Kulusevski is still young, still very new to the Premier League, but I think his impact has been insane. Like, it's remarkable that a 22-year-old coming to the Premier League has had this impact, and I think a lot of people forget, myself included, that he is 22 years old. He's younger than me, which is weird to be doing a video on, but his impact has been undeniable, and I only want him to succeed more next year. And I think he will. I think he's the kind of player that will. He's extremely smart, and I think his versatility as well is something that will cause him to kind of last the test of time, even if defenders figure him out. Kulusevski gave rise to Kane and Son in the latter half of the season, and they're our 2 best players. And when you unlock them, you unlock Tottenham. And so I think that's why Antonio Conte has had success in the latter half of the season and we were able to get top 4. It's partly because of Dejan Kulusevski. Of course, there's also the coaching aspect. Of course, there's also the tactics. But to implement his tactics well, he needs the players to do that. And I think Dejan Kulusevski is exactly what Antonio Conte was looking for. Lucas Moura was a stopgap there. And, I still think he's a good player. But I think Dejan Kulusevski is the man there. I also want to give a big shout out to Rodrigo Benteke, who was also exceptional. When you think of our midfield in the last half of the season, it was Benteke, Højbjerg, and maybe sometimes Winks. And to instantly come into a team and be in that position, probably one of the most demanding positions on the field at midfield, and stake your place in the team that easily, props to you, Benteke. And I think, again, he is someone that's young, experienced, and will be a staple in our team for years to come. I think he's also an amazing get. And the financial deal for both of these guys is exceptional. And now it's just getting other players tactically to help fit the system, and with that, help them grow even more, help Dejan Kulusevski grow even more. It looks like Ivan Perisic is through the door, which is phenomenal. He's a great player. And if you want, I'll do a video about him as well. But yeah, if you enjoyed the video, leave a like, subscribe if you're new. Sometimes I stream on Twitch, not a lot. I will do more so if you enjoyed the video. But yeah, twitch.tv/Shikasmakas. I'm also on Twitter, JaceTucker1. But that's about it. Dejan Kulusevski is Arlo Ginger from Sweden. What? Our winger from Sweden. Gimme a ginger from Sweden. Sorry. It's early here. But yes, thank you for watching. I'll see you guys next time. See ya!